academic and industry professional. He is currently serving as the Associate Professor in the Business Analytics and Deputy Head of Schools at School of Business, Monash University, Malaysia. He earned his PhD in Computational Intelligence from University Science Malaysia and has published 60 peer-reviewed journals and conference papers in the field. With more than 17 years of experience in academia and industry, Dr. Majivan has established himself as an expert in this field. Prior to this current role, he served as the Data Analytics Manager at Bank Negara Malaysia and gained extensive experience in the electronic manufacturing industries, working with prominent companies like Intel and Flextronics. Dr. Majivan's research focused on machine learning principles and application in finance and engineering, with a particular interest in developing advanced machine learning models for fintech applications. His current research is working on the detection and prediction of fraudulent financial transactions, and his dedications and contribution to the field of business analytics have earned him high reward and also among his peers and students. Without further ado, I would like to invite our Associate Professor in Senior Dr. Majivan Singh Sira, the Deputy Head of School of Research, School of Business, Monash University, for a keynote speech. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Will my slides be presented?
No, do not see any slide.
All right, are the slides visible now?
Yes.
Yes, bro. We can see.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you for the invitation to speak. I am going to speak about the intersection of machine learning, sustainability, and social science, pioneering a new frontier for a better future. So some welcoming remarks. So as mentioned earlier, my research lies in between technology and some recent work is on sustainability, which I'll explain in a while. And I've been working on machine learning in the machine learning domain for the past 15 years. And I'm thrilled to share some insights today on the intersection of three things: on machine learning, sustainability, social science, which I'll be covering throughout my slides today. So what is about the digital future and SDG? I'm very sure a lot of you would have seen the sustainable goals, the 17 sustainable goal infographic at many places. Sometimes when you go to a shopping mall, you will see that as well. So what are these SDGs all about? These were actually introduced by the United Nations. It's a blueprint for a sustainable futures. And what are the key challenges? Some of the challenges inside here are poverty, inequality, climate change, and environmental degradation. So I'll be covering a portion on climate change today. And the technological advancement in the digital world. So how can we actually use machine learning in part of the 17 SDGs? Okay? So it's more of the application of the machine learning to actually solve the issues that are out there. And what is machine learning all about? So machine learning is basically a facet or a subset of AI in doing complex data analysis, in predicting trends. So if you have historical data, how does the future look like? And making informed decisions. And all of these are important for us to actually achieve the sustainable development goals. Now we look at the power of machine learning for sustainability. So machine learning can be said it is an important asset in our journey towards sustainability. And as I mentioned earlier, so machine learning is basically a part of artificial intelligence. And with more and more training, it gets better. So if we look at the image below, with the input data, you develop the model, you train the model, and then you give it data to test. And when you build a model, you're not just going to leave it with the original data, but you will be testing it, you'll be updating it time over time, and in order for you to get the recent results. For example, if you have built a model pre-COVID, and with the COVID effect, your model would not work as well as whatever you have built pre-COVID, because a lot of dynamic things have changed. So this is where the machine learning comes into play. So it is able to learn and adapt to complex things, and it's very important for us to actually keep giving new data to the model. And on the where
Dr.
can machine
Dr.
learning
Benjamin, sorry, your slides are not changing and it's not in slideshow mode.
okay, is this better now? Do you see?
Yeah, maybe if you can turn it to slideshow,
I actually had it on slideshow. Do you see it now?
not yet.
Okay, maybe let me just stop sharing and let me just share back my screen. um,
Sure.
Let me just share my entire screen. That will make sure that everything works fine. And is this okay? Is this better?
It's not projecting yet.
It shows that it's sharing the screen.
Okay, now
I can present the screen for you.
Sure, sure, sure. If you can present the screen for me, that would be better. I was at slide number 4 just now. All right. So I was here. Okay. So on the machine learning stuff, so on climate science, so this is where, based on the information that we have about climate change, machine learning can predict what's going to happen next. For instance, floods or thunderstorms or whatsoever. Okay. And then on healthcare, I think this has been used a lot, especially in recent times, to predict disease outbreaks, basically based on historical data, and to see if something happens, what will happen to any outbreak, okay, and how do we solve it. And on agriculture, uh, there are some advanced countries that actually use machine learning, especially with sensors in their soil or in their plants, to ensure that the yields that they get are fully optimized. Okay. On the next slide. So this is where the whole topic of what I'm going to be presenting today meets. So this is where machine learning meets social science. So there are three main things. One is machine learning, one is sustainability, one is social science. So in terms of sustainability, so this covers people, behaviors, societal structures, and the role of social science, this is on sociology, psychology, anthropology, is basically understanding human behavior and also societal structures. And how do we integrate this with machine learning? Okay, that's where we want to understand how the societal systems impact sustainability. And I'll explain more in the coming slides. Next slide, please. Okay, so the first topic that I would like to talk about is on cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is basically a social challenge that has not been really addressed in our community. So it is a growing issue, especially in in the digital world. Many years ago, when kids go to school, they might get bullied, but today, bullying has taken a new level and has gone online, where it's called cyberbullying, and is happening very rampantly. And is you can't just put a machine learning online and to tell, okay, to detect bullying, there's a lot of process or steps in order for us to detect this. And this is where my team and myself, we have integrated social science insights with the predictive ability from machine learning to detect and prevent cyberbullying. So as we go to the next slide, so this is a case study where we actually just published a paper few days back, and this is where we develop a real-time machine learning model to detect cyber bullying content, especially on Twitter. Okay, and this is very specific to bahasa Melayu. Okay, if you see, there are a lot of work which has been done on cyberbullying, especially in English or in different languages. So this study was very specific to scrapping tweets from Twitter in the Malay language or Bahasa Melayu. And a few thousand tweets were scrapped and they were manually labeled by my team and myself. And what we wanted to do was to have a more inclusive digital environment to prevent this kind of harmful behavior. Because if you run a model which works only on English on Twitter and you try to scrap tweets from Malaysia, they highly will not work, because a lot of times tweets are not given in full sentences, and the current tweets only recognize English. And in Malaysia, a lot of times people mix multiple languages in their tweet. So it was very important to detect the tweet in order for us to detect the future tweets. Okay. On the next slide. Okay. So this is where we train the machine learning model, and we basically segregated two different tweet categories. The first one was the bullying category. The second one was a non-bullying category. And we had about 5,000 tweets in total. And the whole learning process was to basically differentiate the bullying tweets from the non-bullying tweets. For a normal human being, it's very easy for us to just look at the sentence and to tell whether this is a bully or this is a non-bully. But for a machine to tell that, it's actually not as simple. There were quite a lot of steps that were taken in order for us to basically understand what bullying is actually all about. Okay. And on the evaluation, we tested on new unseen data to actually assess the performance. The next slide. Okay. And what are the results that we actually got? So in terms of the machine learning results, we got over 90% accuracy to identify the cyberbullying content. It was, I would say, a reasonably high accuracy. Of course, we were not trying to achieve 100%. That would be a far-fetched target for now. This was a few rounds. And how does this connect to SDGs? So this is basically contributing to SDG 16, where we want to promote a peaceful and inclusive society. And what is the impact of all of this? We want to create safer digital spaces, okay, in order to realize this particular SDG. The next slide. Okay. Now, on the second example I'm going to speak about is on the photovoltaic modules optimization. So photovoltaic, or better known as solar panels to most of us, they have been working. You would think that placing a solar panel on your house roof would automatically generate electricity for you? Well, there's yes and no. Okay, so in the test that we did, we wanted to see the different sorts of photovoltaic panels that were available and how would they react with the different locations they are in Malaysia in terms of the electricity generation. And we find which solar panels work best for the area you are in. Okay, so on the next slide. Okay, so the science between this whole optimization is we basically use the power conversion efficiency, and this power conversion efficiency, it differs by location, because in every single location in Peninsular Malaysia, especially where we did in about 5 or 6 different locations. We have not gone to the entire Malaysia. There's a sunlight called the AM 1.5 spectrum, and this sunlight varies from where frequency that we saw of the solar panel changes significantly based on where you are located. And what did we do with all this information was we use genetic algorithms to basically optimize to say that if you are looking to fix a solar panel for your house or your shop or your factory, which kind of solar panels should you actually go and fix? Because there's no point that you go and invest tens of thousands of ringgit, and at the end of the day you are not getting the energy that you are promised to get. So on the next slide, some of the results that we saw, that so we had 12 different types of commercially available solar panels, and one of the exhibition we saw that in Bandar Sungai Long, so this study was actually done in collaboration with Utah. uh, Using the right solar panel can actually give you a gain up to 27% from using the wrong solar panel. So you can see that if you're supposed to get 100 watts of output using the wrong solar panel, you may be only getting 70 watts when you can actually get 100 watts. So it's very important to actually do a thorough study, especially in Peninsular Malaysia, before you actually fix a solar panel. Okay? And all of the optimization was done using genetic algorithms. On the next slide. Okay, so why is it important for us to optimize this module? Because as more and more renewable energy is being used, I think is important that even though you have the money to spend, it's important to actually optimize the land that you have in order to get you the best output, right? Because you want to have the highest energy yield. And this contributes actually to SDG 7, which is on affordable and clean energy. The next slide. Okay. So now we look at navigating the challenges of AI in SDGs. So we can see that AI in SDG, we have a lot of things, and it's important to ensure the AI systems are reliable and also secure. Why is it reliable and secure? I would say reliable in terms of, say that we look in terms of the cyberbullying. You want to make sure that it can differentiate correctly between a bullying and non-bullying, and relevant action can be taken before it's too late. Okay, and to validate whatever solution that's out there is very important. We can't just release something out there and don't validate. Okay, and I think it's important. The most important thing is wealthy nations have got a lot of technology where they are solving a lot of things, but they don't actually look challenges that are at the less wealthy nations. So there are a lot of poor nations out there that do not have access to this kind of technology when they actually badly need them. On the next slide. Okay, now we look at ethical considerations. So there are some aspects that we need to look at the legal and societal impact. So, with a lot of things, especially in the current few months where ChatGPT has been released, and there are many more generative AI technologies out there, uh, it sometimes it has each of the machine learning model has its own bias. So it's very important for the model to not be biased because it's all based on who develops it. So, and having ownership to your data, whatever you upload online, okay, especially privacy concerns such as healthcare. So do you want people to know exactly what kind of diseases you have and stuff like that? So having a ethical consideration and balancing what we do, what we save online is a very important thing, especially in today's world. Okay, on the next slide. Okay, so how do we see social science in sustainable AI? Is basically getting the insights from social science where we improve the model understanding and how do we adapt to human behavior and societal dynamics. And again, all of this, it should be in a very ethical and responsible way. And you might be thinking, how do I create a responsible system? Well, when you develop a machine learning system, you may end up to be having that system biased towards something. Well, the bias happens because most of your training data is skewed towards there. So having a balanced data that covers all the groups, for instance, like say in a medical setting, covering the right amount so that you have less chances of being biased. If your model is only trained towards one kind of system, the chances of having a bias will be very high. Okay. The next slide. Now we look at what the future holds. So we can see that machine learning, sustainability, social science, they can all intersect each other, which can generate a good impact for us. And looking at the 17 SDGs, I only covered two today. Looking at the 17, we can definitely see that machine learning can intersect into all of them. And it's important for everyone to actually contribute to this work. Uh, you may be only working on one area, that's fine. You do not need to work on all the 17 areas. Choose the area to focus and work on that. Okay, so this is my last slide. Basically, the key takeaways, the power of machine learning, as I just mentioned in the 17 SDGs, and it's important to see what the ethics consideration lies. And again, for the richer nations to actually help the less wealthy nations in terms of technology. And what are the future directions is to create AI solutions to specific different cultural and economic contexts. A model for a wealthy nation may not work for a poorer nation. Then fair distribution of AI benefits and collaboration for an inclusive progress. Right? So this ends my slides. I'm open for any questions that anyone has.
Right now, we're opening up for questions, perhaps one or two, if there's any question from the participants. All right, we have one question from Prof. Kamaruzaman.
Maybe just to kick off the question, Prof. Jivan, any opinion of the recently launched WorldCoin by Altman?
On the what, sorry?
On the WorldCoin that recently launched by Sam Altman?
I have not looked into that, unfortunately.
All right.
Any other questions from the participant? All right. So if there is no more question, I would like to thank Associate Professor Insigne Dr. Majivan Singh, Sarah, for all of your support to our event DIFCON 2023, and hopefully in the future we'll have more collaborations between Multimedia University and Monash University.
Sure,
Right?
no problem.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. All right, so let us move on to our second keynote speaker for the day. Right, second keynote speaker for the day is an international keynote speaker. So a very interesting and reputable speaker, which we invite all the way from Egypt, Professor Sarah A. Abdul Mohammed. Right, she is currently the youngest professor and the head of Department of Sculpture, Architectural Formation and Restoration at the Faculty of Applied Arts in Ben Ha University. This award-winning Egyptian art historian is also well respected due to her internationally recognized scientific research on the history of ancient Egyptian and Jewish art, particularly at two of the top Ivy League universities in Harvard and Stanford universities. So she was also among the first who are well respected female leaders during the Egyptian presidency. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi received a lot of support from the president himself, and who truly believe that women leaders should be supported by empowering them. Some of her major achievements are the winning of Italian embassy in Egypt in cooperation with the Foundation for Sustainable Development in Rome, and she also lead the movement of cultural tourism to museums and archaeological sites, reviving pharaonic art in contemporary ways, and many more. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause to Professor Sarah A. Abdul Mohammed from Ben Ha University, Egypt.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. Do you hear me well?
Yes,
Thank you.
Yes, I get you.
Okay, thank you so much for introducing me, and thank you so much for the invitation for a great, successful conference like this conference. And I would like to introduce myself shortly, as you already introduced me. Actually, I was graduated from Faculty of Fine Arts, a specialist in mural art. Then I changed it later to be a specialist in art history, started with ancient art, and then I moved to art and technology, and I receive awards to do projects in art and technology and sustainability. Today I will talk to you about art, digital technology, and sustainability, the relation between three of them. So are you going to move the slides? Yes, next, please. So art and technology in the 21st century has a great relationship. We cannot ignore it, even if some people are still against the integration between arts and technology, and they like more the ancient art or the traditional art, but still we cannot ignore the huge technological revolution that we currently living in. So art through history was associated to religion, politics, and economics, and reflecting now to us what was happening in the past for each country. And we can understand what was happening through art actually in the ancient Egypt, in ancient countries, from the art they left to us. But hence, we have an important question. Can digital technologies achieve sustainability in the field of art and its practices? So actually, that's what we are going to answer today. Next slide, please. Next. Yes. So the relation between art, digital technology, and sustainability is very important to deal with many aspects. But what those are aspects we are talking today to clarify what those aspects. Next. So the aspects of the relation between art and sustainability and also digital technology. Let's talk first of all about art and sustainability. Actually, the idea of the artwork itself can be reflecting the one of the goals of the SDGs. Also, the sustainability can be based in the artwork on the material that the artist used to create his own artwork, like choosing some natural stones. Also, digital technology can be achieved with sustainability can be achieved when it's integrated. When we integrate the art with digital technology to register data by using digital technology, and that can be seen for ancient art, as if we used in the past, starting from like 18th or 19th centuries, digital technology to register some sites and save the data, photos, whatever, on the computers, and using those photos as archive for us. Now it was going to help all of us to know the nature of this type of sites or art or whatever. It's absolutely also important to achieve sustainability in art practices, because actually art practice can create many carbon emissions. Next, please. So, talking about the idea of the artwork may reflect one or more goals. We have 17 goals. Some people, some artists can reflect on their work, for example, the gender equality, using by messages through their art, whatever sculpture, paintings, drawing. They can also reflect whatever, talking about the earth and the pollution, the problem of the climate change through the idea of the artwork. Next. The second thing, next please. When we talk about sustainability, how can we use the materials? Well, we have some molds, for example, from sculpture. The idea of the to recycle the material that we don't use is something very, very useful for the sustainability. So we can use some recycling to create a great piece of art. And sustainable material to create the artwork, such as the natural pigments. And actually the natural pigments is not something new, because in ancient Egypt, all the art which is still living till now, they were using the natural pigments, eco-friendly paints, and also many ancient cultures, they used the bamboo brushes. Next. When we talk about the digital technology, how they can achieve the sustainability in art by registering and saving the data, because actually saving the data is very, very important for everything, but is not can be applied only on digital art, which is really very important that we can apply this also registering the data of physical art. So digital technology can allow us to achieve the sustainability by registering the data. And also, it's very, very important with the blockchain technology, because can protect the ownership of the artist, whatever, for physical art or digital art. Next, please. So when we talk about the importance of achieving sustainability in art practices, it's also very important point. Why? Because when we publishing the material, printed material, to announce a new exhibition or announce any event for art, it's creating carbon emissions. So we can use digital technology and use the social media to announce about it and avoid the printed material. Second, shipping, the exhibitions tour, the storage, the freight, all of this can create carbon emissions. And we are caring nowadays about we are caring nowadays so much about the climate change. Then, of course, the business travel, air travels to go to the exhibitions, to go to museums, and now we have virtual tours in the museums. Buildings, the energy, the water, the paper, etc. that we use. As we see today, we can do the event like that virtually and use it just the internet and digital technology. Next, please. So not only all what I was talking about how can we achieve sustainability, also when we talk about the climate change activists, they used the art inside the museums, and we saw many activists doing some movements in front of famous paintings and things inside museums to paying the attention of people to the issue of the climate change and the big problem that we are facing all over the world because of the climate change. Also, they care so much about the material they use, the artists, and it's against the environment. Next, please. So here is a photo. We see in this photo the climate protesters through cans of tomato soup on Van Gogh artwork at the National Gallery in London, and it was in October 2022. Next, please. Then another protesters, activists used the spray paint, no new oil. They don't want to use the oil because it's not natural, and it will be, maybe it will make some more carbon emissions. Next, please. Here the climate protesters threw mashed potatoes and Claude Monet, the famous artwork in Germany. And it was on October, 23 of October. Next, please. Also, protesters covered Johann Haywein with a very alternative vision of landscape and protest against fossil fuel industry. Next. So here, an important question. Can digital technology really help to achieve the sustainability in ancient art also? Next. So actually the technology is playing a very important role to protect ancient art and make it more sustainable for the new generations. But as I said before, we can scan and copy the monuments and keep the original pieces inside places to save it from the climate change, because actually when they created these pieces of art many years ago, it was a different weather. So the piece which used to live and stay longer in the past maybe will destroy because of the climate change, and the weather is changing nowadays. So the only solution, and they did it already in Florence with the doors, a golden door, they made a copy of the door and a typical copy of the door, and they kept the original door inside a place to save it. Next, please. And going back to the point, to do typical door or typical monument or typical piece of art, we have to use the digital technology because it will make it more dedicated and easier. So the survey for the historical places using latest technology in all the developed countries, which keeps the data safe for the coming generation, because we already lost many data. And me by myself, when I look for some data for sometimes I cannot find it in books even. I cannot find the main images before this monument is destroyed. So digital technology can keep the data for the future, for our new generations. Next. Again, using the digital techniques for the restoration. For example, if I have a lost piece of a statue and I want to add this piece, if I did it by myself, by my hand, not using digital technology, There will be a very high risk, and I saw it happened already in many cases. But if I used the 3D scanning and then 3D modeling, it will be very accurate for the sizes for the lost piece of the statue. And then I can do a virtual restoration before touching the piece of art. And with the virtual restoration, I can imagine what will be happen if I apply this restoration. So to decide how I touch this piece of art. So next, here's the question. Is sustainability already achieved in art? Next. Few years ago, the world had become more aware of the upcoming threats which will be facing our planet. And everyone now cares so much in all fields about sustainable development and how to achieve the sustainability in each field. And it's not something attached to one country, all the world, because we all face the same problem, the high temperature, the problems with the natural resources. Next. James Wines, he's a famous artist, a famous American artist, said, without art, the idea of sustainability will fail. And this is because our life full of arts and it surrounds us in everything. And it's true. I'm not biased because I'm an artist or art historian, but if we look around us, art everywhere. Art can teach people from image, from anything. With this, the art can send indirect message to people to teach them how to follow the sustainable development goals. Next. So the measurement of sustainability, of course, based on measuring the carbon footprints emissions. And the carbon footprints is vital indicator of climate change and the environment. So does art world have carbon footprint emissions? Next, yes, it has, of course. How? Next. So let's talk about the art practices. And I already mentioned a few minutes ago about art practices. It causes too much carbon footprints, actually. What we decide to do international event for art, international exhibition, the transportation of the artwork by air freight. This is creating carbon footprints. The packing, how we pack the artwork with plastic, of course, these bubble sheets of plastic. This plastic can create also because how we are going to finish this plastic. We are not going to use it again. How we will recycle it? It's complicated. It's really very complicated for the environment. The energy we use in galleries and exhibitions, the electricity, the publishing, the printed publishing materials we produce, how we recycle it. It cannot be recycled. Next. So the role of art in achieving sustainability is not only limited to communicating the idea of sustainability, because actually I saw an exhibition in some countries. It was something for they announced it for it as the first exhibition in this country talking about sustainable development and how to achieve it. And it was a huge event. And they only depended on the idea of the artwork, the artists. But actually, when you look behind how they organized this exhibition, we found that 130 artists from all over the world came to the exhibition, many printed materials. So when we talk about how to limit the carbon footprint emissions, we cannot talk about only the idea of the artwork. We have to look at the art practices, not only the artwork idea can achieve the sustainability. Next, please. So Talking about digital technology and how can digital technology help in the field of art and also achieve the sustainability. If we talk about the online sales, of course, the COVID affected everything related to technology in all fields and sectors. So total online sales of the arts market, so we actually don't have to be inside galleries using electricity, paper, everything. The total online sales reached in the antiquities market and art market all over the world from uh, 2013 to 2022. If we look at this image, we can see how it was high during 2020, 2021, 2022, because during the pandemic, actually, the pandemic issue of the COVID-19, it paid the attention of all the world to see how it's flexible and important to use digital technology and computers and to do all the practices. And it was really very successful. Next. Does the relationship between digital technology and art is completely sustainable? Actually, no. Not all digital technology contributes to creation to create the sustainability, as some digital technology can create issues, face our planet negatively. Next, digital technology. It has, of course, as anything, advantages and disadvantages. Talking about the advantages, it causes increase the usage of the energy. This is disadvantages. Also, how can they produce the hardwares, and it can affect the sustainability, and how can we get rid of the computers after we cannot use it, and how can we recycle it? It's very complicated. But the advantages, it can solve some problems such as the pollution of resources and climate change. As we mentioned, how can we use digital technology for the art practices for limiting the carbon footprints. Next. So going back to my award, I was awarded like few years ago to do a project talking about art and digital technology and sustainability. And as I mentioned before, not everyone appreciating the digital art, especially in the countries which is not having too much digital technology and not applying digital technology in the fields around people. So people cannot understand actually what is art except traditional art. They can touch it, they can see it in front. It has to have a space around them to appreciate. So I decided to do a project talking about digital art, and I was awarded from Italy, then I was awarded from India. This project was talking about, I was discussing with many famous artists and art historians, curators, professors in many countries, Australia, Canada, China, Egypt, Germany, as we see the countries, Netherlands, Portugal, Russia, many developed countries actually, and of course Egypt, to see the points of view of those people who are in the field of traditional and digital art and ask them and discuss some questions. Next. I was asking, can digital technology achieve the sustainability? Actually, as we see in the photo, the answers. 34, I interviewed 86 people, okay? So 34 said, yes, digital technologies can achieve sustainability. And 36 said could be. And then 6 said no. And 10 said don't know. If we look here at this photo, we can see could be is the highest percentage between the participants. But the blue mark, it means that we cannot achieve the sustainability using digital technologies except by human intervention. So without the human, we cannot use the digital technology to achieve sustainability in art. The human must control all the process. And the majority of the people, they didn't know anything about sustainability and digital technology. Of course, they were living in places is not having too much digital technologies around them in the life in general. Next. When we talk about digital technology in art and the integration, we have to mention the blockchain technology because actually the blockchain technology helped too much in the market of the digital art. Before the blockchain, people were afraid to buy the digital art. After the blockchain technology, after it became in the art field, and they started to use for the protecting their copyrights and the copyrights of the one who will buy the art. Many people started to buy digital art and believe in digital art. Next. Blockchain technology has been proven its ability to make progress in the SDGs in environmental, social, and economical sectors. Next. What's really also very important for the blockchain technology, it can track the when I sell my piece of art, it can track who will buy it, and then they can prove the originality of the piece of art. But does society accept the integration of digital technology with art and its practice or not? Next. Well, in my interview, again, the answers was, as we see, the society, like 54%, they are not believing completely the societies in the integration of digital technology with art and its practices. And only 30% say yes, and 16 said no. The point is, we still transforming from the idea of traditional, whatever in the art practice or the art, to the digital, but again, the pandemic helped too much people to start to look at the digital art and look at the idea of having the exhibitions virtually or in the metaverse. And they started to do that gradually, and it's actually increasing gradually. Next. So what is the factors affecting acceptance of the integration of digital technology and art? Actually, people who are accepting the integration and accepting the idea of digital art, it's depending on the infrastructure of the country, which will allow the country and people have the digital technology around them in everything. The education, how do you educate you? Did you receive the already education? A part of your education was virtual? Because the new generations actually they believe too much in the digital technology and they believe too much in the digital art more than even the traditional art. And I'm not encouraging the digital art more than the traditional art. We still have to do the balance. The age is very, very important factor because it's related also to the education. Elder people, they don't like the digital art so much because they didn't use the digital technology in their life normally, except lately during the COVID and after. Again, the developed and developing countries, and it's something related to the infrastructure and how they use the digital technology in the all fields around them in the life. Next. So there was a study in US talking about the NFT, the non-fungible tokens. Of course, we all heard about the NFT. The NFT is depending on the blockchain technology, and all is digital art. Or even you can have a Twitter, some sentence you said, it could be NFT. Anything you want to do it as NFT, even a photo, you can connect it with a blockchain technology and put it in one of the websites of the NFT platforms, and you can sell it and track it. But looking at the age of who are like accepting or like more the NFTs, we see that the average is higher. The dark orange, I have traded NFTs because use it like to earn money. Some people they use it to earn money. So the highest numbers from 25 and from 18 to 24 and from 25 to 34, looking to the age when the people became elder, they don't believe that much in the NFTs issues or trades. And even if they are planning to, but not many people, the light orange is telling us they are planning to trade NFTs, but they didn't. The dark orange is very high in the age 18-24, which is the youngest, as I said. And then 25 to 34, 35 to 44, and then it's going down with the age. They don't means that they don't believe that much in the integration of digital art and technology or whatever NFTs. Next. And then they have this study on the Statista, which is one of the most important websites. They can tell us about the NFTs, metaverse. Talking about this study was in 2021, where most NFT users all over the world. We can see Thailand. The users are almost close to 5.5 or more than close to 6 millions. Brazil, and then United States, China, Vietnam. I see many people, and this was also still we're during the pandemic. But what happens? We will see that NFT. It's a very important question. Survive with us till the end with that huge numbers and huge sales, and that we hear about numbers we never hear about in the normal traditional art. Next, please. Art and digital technology. When we talk about both of them, we have to talk about NFT and metaverse, which is a race of both of them was actually during the COVID. And both of them attached to blockchain technology. Next. So the rise of the metaverse and NFT in 2021 until now. Total NFT sales 2021 during the COVID pandemic was $25 billion to 41 billion. Both increased from 2020 when the sales were $250 million only. So as we see, in 2021, the sales reached very high numbers. 2020, it started. These numbers were not before at all the pandemic there. Next. Again, when we talk about art and digital technology, we have to talk about blockchain and NFT, which is like everyone heard about it only during the pandemic, and the cryptocurrencies. Also, we have to mention that not all countries allowing for people to use the cryptocurrencies. For Egypt, is not allowed to use the cryptocurrencies, and it's not easy to have NFTs in Egypt. Next, please. Well, the two most famous cryptocurrencies all over the world till now, the Bitcoin. Of course, it started with the Bitcoin, which it started some very little dollars. Now it reached like the one Bitcoin equal to close to $30,000. And then the market capacity of the Bitcoin of 2023 is $531.1 billion. But still the Ether for the market of art, the artists like to use more the Ether more than the Bitcoin. Bitcoin was at the beginning, now the Ether is very, very high. Even if it's the price lower, but still the market of art appreciate more the Ethereum, which is the market capacity now in 2023 equal $220.3 billion. Next, please. As we see, the Ethereum price from 2015 till April 2023. As we see, it was very low. The price was very low, less than 1,000. And even it reached during 21-22, it was close to one Ether equal close to $5,000. But now it started to go down again. And this is very important because it gives us vision to know what will be the future of this. Will it be higher than that? Or it's something during only the pandemics because everyone has to use digital technology. So they go to the virtual money and they go to the virtual art and they go to the digital art. Let's see what will happen with NFT. Next. People's collage. The first 5,000 days sold at Christie's, one of the most famous galleries, Christie's in London, sold with $69 million in 2021. We never heard about a live artist sold something in traditional art when he was alive with that number. But it was in 2021, and it was like a bomb in the art world. No one believed this price actually, but even people, he never sold something equaling this number again. Next. But unfortunately, the most famous pop star paid $1,000,029 for the Bored app. As we see, this monkey is NFT. He bought it from Yacht Club NFT last year, 2021 January. Now he tried to sell it. What happened? He lost more than 1 million on his Bored app. It's also giving us a vision. You remember in my last slides, I was talking about the value of the Ethereum. It was going up during the pandemic until 2022. And then it started to go with the value of the Ethereum down again. Again, here it's giving us a vision about the future of NFT. From my point of view, it was like a revolution. It went very high and it started to go down again. The man lost more than $1 million because he couldn't sell his NFT, which he bought already last year. $1.29 million. He couldn't sell it again this year with the same number. Next. So can NFT help to achieve the sustainability? It's when non-fungible tokens, which is NFT, meant that NFT marketplaces using energy method, such as proof of work, that environment can experience an impact such as the increase of carbon footprints. Actually, yeah, it's creating carbon footprints, but it's still the blockchain. They are trying to develop it, and it can reduce the environmental impact. So it can increase and it can decrease. Next, please. Talking about the metaverse, so of course everyone heard about the metaverse here. People are using the metaverse now in education, for tourism, many sectors. It can achieve sustainability or not. Can a metaverse achieve the sustainability? Why metaverse can create images? As anything create emissions actually using digital technology, but it can also reduce this carbon footprints because of controlling the waste of the materials, controlling it, and controlling the issues of we have to move from a place to another place using cars, using planes. It also create carbon footprints, but the metaverse can reduce this, but also can create it. Next. Talking about digital technology can contribute to achieve the sustainability if it's integrated with art. The wrong use of digital technology may lead to increase, not decrease, the carbon emissions and the energy consumption. Therefore, it will be against the sustainability. So we cannot say in general digital technology can be used to achieve the sustainability. No, we have to say and see how to use this digital technology with the human intervention to achieve the sustainability, because in general it will never achieve the sustainability. It can help, but we have to see how to use it to help to reduce the carbon emissions. Next. Finally, the main factor in achieving sustainability in art using digital technology or not, as I mentioned, is human being. We created technology. We have to use it. We don't have to let technology lead us. Okay? So if we know how to use it and how to control and look always at how to reduce the carbon emissions using the digital technology, not just use it, we will achieve the sustainability through using the digital technology in all sectors. Next. I finished, and thank you everyone. Thanks for the invitation for this great successful conference. Thanks for everyone organized this great successful conference, and wish you all the best next year for another great event like that.
All right, thank you so much, Professor Sarah A. Abdul Muhammad, for such an inspiring speech. And hopefully, you may want to stay in touch with us, for us to create more efforts and also producing more researchers in the arts field through our strategic collaborative efforts in the future, inshallah. All right, okay, so before we move on to our next session, I would like to...
Yes? There's a question in the chat.
Oh, okay, right. Sorry. Okay. All right. There is one question from the chat box. The question is, thank you. The question sounds like this. Thank you, Professor, for your insightful knowledge sharing. Knowing that AI arts take jobs of human being in terms of the artists, designers, illustrators, and uses their work without the consent and compensation to create what it called as new work, right? So it is also devalues the years of practice, unique vision, skills, and experience that human artists work hard for. So how does this challenge can be well resolved from your perspective, Prof?
Well, okay. Actually, yes, we have this issue also in the digital art when some designers create just something like graphic designer and they call it art. Art will always depend on the concept, the creative idea, not only the tools, because we have to appreciate traditional art and digital art. So we cannot say that AI is a piece of art created by the AI, it's an art. And all the professionals will never say that it's an art, except if the human did something. I mean, we can use AI, I can give it some data. It's okay, but I use my ideas and I use the AI as a tool. Now, as I mentioned, we cannot let the technology lead human being. We have to lead the technology because we created technology. So it's actually a challenge for people who are not understanding that much about art markets. So we can say the art dealers will appreciate it more than specialized, but still the artists and art historians can stop it, because if anyone now go to the website of the AI and give some ideas to the website, it can create the art, but at the end it will not be that appreciated. Actually, it will be just a normal photo. But with the idea, with the intervention of the artists, a creative idea, it will be an art. Still, we have to be inside as human being. This is a point. It's a challenge at the beginning, as everything, but with the time, it will be normal, I think. So it's not a big challenge for
Yeah,
later, I mean.
true. I believe that's also the reason why you are trying to put the understanding of heritage values of arts before you teach arts to your students. I mean, based on your work that you have done
Yeah.
before, right? So we have one more last question. It is from Joey Law. It says, "May I know, is there an overlap between the art sustainability and heritage preservation?"
If there
Is
is
there?
a relation,
Yeah. Is there an overlap? Is there overlap between art sustainability and heritage preservation?
uh, if there is a relation between the heritage and the art
Yeah,
sustainability.
I believe
Yes.
I believe the question is, what is the integration between art sustainability arts and also heritage preservation, the
Okay,
history
okay.
of the arts?
Yeah, yeah. Talking about the sustainability. Sustainability actually means uh, has many meanings. Okay, not it's not only related about the carbon footprints and how to stop it. It's also the meaning of the word sustainability. It's related how to save something. Saving the data, it's a sustainability. How to save the data as it is for the new generations, as I mentioned, it's a sustainability for to leave it as it is before it's destroyed. How to know how it was a few years ago, this site or this building, from the data and digital technology that we use to scan and print something as small models, something in use in old sites. Maybe it will be destroyed in a few years because of the climate change. And using digital technology, if I want to restore it in the future and go back to these photos, it's sustainability. So I use digital technology to save the data to achieve the sustainability. This is the point. I hope the one who answered the understand now.
Yeah, I believe so. So at the end of the day, technology helps to basically preserve the arts, but at the same time, it helps to reduce to achieve sustainability by reducing any environmental issues when it comes to producing and carrying the arts, from one place to another. I believe that's what you're trying to say.
Yes.
Okay, right. Thank you so much for your valuable insight. We truly appreciate all of your words, all of your sharing with us today, and hopefully we will see you again next year. Hopefully, right?
Thank you. Thank you. Of
Thank you
course,
so
why
much.
not? Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for allowing me to reach to all this number to talk about the projects and the art and sustainability and digital technology. I wish you all the success for the new events, and I'm always here. I will be always here for any support. Thank you for the invitation. I would like also to thank Multimedia University. I would like to thank everyone or helped to organize this event, and Professor Noor who contacted me. Professor Noor, I think she's here. Thank you so much for inviting me. And Dr. Noor who was sending me messages. Thanks everyone. Thanks for you, Mr. Muhammad, Dr. Muhammad. Thanks so much for everything.
Thank you so much, Prof. All right. Before we move on to our next session, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to remind again for all of you, the participants, to register yourself through the QR code, okay, that is being provided here, as of you can see now in MMU Studios page. So I'll give you a few seconds to take a picture of the registration and put in your name before we move on to the next slides, right? The next part. Okay, I believe the time is enough for that. Thank you so much. All right, so now is the time for all of us, the time that we all have been waiting for. It is time for us to celebrate all the hard work and the sleepless night of you writing the papers, right? Especially to all the participants in our conferences. So we are going to announce the award for the best paper for each DIFCON conferences 2023, right? I'm not sure about you, but I can already feel the tension, the nervousness, right? Who's going to get that award for the best paper, right? So I really hope that you are as excited as me right now. Okay, so for the best paper award for DIFCON 2023, I would like to invite Associate Professor Dr. Kamaruzaman bin Abdul Aziz, the General Co-Chair for DIFCON 2023, to announce the winner and officially close DIFCON 2023. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Izzy. Assalamualaikum, salam sejahtera, and very good afternoon to everyone. Professor IR Dr. Hairul Azhar Rashid and Professor IR Dr. Zulfazli Yusuf, our advisors for DIFCON 2023, representative from our co-organizers, sponsors, supporting organizations, supporting university, keynote speakers, the conference chairpersons, distinguished guests, colleagues, students, ladies and gentlemen. Alhamdulillah, we are grateful to God Almighty because with His consent, we are here together to conclude a very fruitful 3 days gathering of minds and sharing of research excellence. First and foremost, I would like to express my appreciation to Associate Professor Dr. Manjiban Singh Sera and Professor Dr. Sarah Abdul for their insightful keynote speeches. I'm sure you have inspired sparks of new research ideas amongst our participants. Thank you also to all the keynote speakers, session chairs, and also presenters across the 6 co-located conferences for their valuable contribution to the success of the 3rd installment of this Digital Futures International Congress. Also, on behalf of the organizing committee, our utmost appreciation to all who attended the Congress and all those who have helped us to make it such a successful event. Special appreciation goes out to our co-organizers, Asharkia University, University Kuala Lumpur, and University Tenaga Nasional, as well as to our generous sponsor, IX Telecom Sdn. We hope these partnerships will continue for many years to come. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to report that this Congress has brought together almost around 500 observers and participants across all of our platforms over these 3 days. We have seen 366 research papers presented by authors from all over the globe. Many of the papers presented have been selected for further publication consideration with the reputable index journals we collaborate with this year. So congratulations. Throughout this 3-day event, the issue of sustainable development was discussed by the participants from various angles and perspectives. As with all such events, this Congress has been an astounding example. Our minds have been assailed by a torrent of ideas, information, statistics, interpretations, and visions, and it will probably be a day or two before we will be able to sift through them all and consolidate our own personal perspectives. There is indeed plenty to reflect upon, and if this in any way enhances our individual and collective contributions to advancing sustainable development for a resilient future, then this event can truly be adjudged a success. We should all be committed to ensuring that DIFCON 2023 serve as a platform for initiating actions, campaigns, and declarations that prioritize sustainable development goals. The visibility, influence, and connections from the conferences can extend beyond the event itself, amplifying the messages and actions for sustainable development. Ladies and gentlemen, we now come to the highlight of this afternoon. I have the honor of announcing the winners of the Best Paper Awards for each conferences of DIFCON 2023. Drum roll, please.
Ding, 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 ding.
Following are the award recipients for the Multimedia University Engineering Conference 2023. Let's Congratulations to the 7 recipients. The first one, Sheikh Zakaria Ajilali Ming Yutan, Abdurrahman Ahmed, Gregory Sun Hao Tien, Tei Ling Lau, Yu Kyung Sin, Chu Liang Li, Wai Leong Pang, and Ka Yun Chan for their paper Preheating Temperature Effect on Electrochromic Properties of TiO2 Thin Films. Congratulations also to Yu Kyung Sin and Muhammad Taha Aumar Al-Hada for their paper Fabrication and Implementation of PBA Thin Film-Based Relative Humidity Sensor. And congratulations to Sarina Manso, Muhammad Nur Irham Firdaus Azmi, and Siti Azlida Ibrahim for their paper Smart Intelligence Prayer System for Elderly Muslim with IoT. And also congratulations to Barakat Mutadi, Guo Chin Chung, It Yi Lee, Wai Leong Pang, and Ka Yun Chan for their paper Detection and Sizing of Durian using Zero-Shot Deep Learning Models. Congratulations to Moyeldin Naim Muhammad Khalid, Guo Chin Chung, It Yi Lee, Jun Jet Tiang, and Su Fan Tan for their paper A Mobile IoT-Based Elderly Monitoring System for Senior Safety. Congratulations to Azlan Abdul Aziz, Nur Hidayati Abdul Aziz, Azwan Mahmud, Saiful Nizan Jamian, and Nur Ashikin Amir Hamza for their paper Structural Equation Modeling of Right-Turn Motorists at Unsignalized Intersections. And finally, congratulations to Muhammad Sharil Nizam Abdullah, Hazrul Abdul Karim, and Noor Al-Dahul for their paper The combination of light pre-trained convolutional neural networks and long short-term memory for violence detection in videos. Congratulations to the Nikon Best Paper Awards recipients. Next are the awards recipients for the 3rd International Conference on Computer Information Technology and Intelligent Computing. The winners are congratulations to Teng Jia Lo, Chu Yiting, and Helmi Zakaria for their paper Detecting Need Attention Patients Using Machine Learning. Congratulations to Adeline Hui Min Lo, Amy Lim Hui Lan, and Pang Pang Chua for their paper Predicting Factors that Affect East Asian Students' Reading Proficiency in PISA. And congratulations to Wong Chi Hong, Li Ying Chong, Xiu Ching Chong, and Pei Yun Go for their paper, Photo-Based Mobile Progress Tracking with Cloud Synchronization. And congratulations to Muhammad Noman Bebakri, Han Funyo, and Chuan Chin Teo for their paper, Blockchain Technology for Tourism Post-COVID-19. Congratulations to Kwan Fong Yeo, Shi Yin Ui, Ying Han Pang, and Ying Hui Gan for their paper, Facial Skin Type Analysis using Few-Shot Learning with Prototypical Networks. And also congratulations to Zheng Jiang, Pang Pang Chua, and Amy Lim Hui Lan for their paper, Privacy Protection Schemes in Internet of Vehicles, a Review and Analysis. And the final winner for CITIC is Bei Bell Lim, Kok Wai Eng, and Siu Lai Eng for their paper, Drowsiness Detection System through Face and Eye Analysis. Congratulations to the CITIC Best Papers Award recipients. Let's move on to the next conference, the 3rd International Conference on Creative Multimedia 2023. The winners are congratulations to Nazim Mahendru, Mai Neo, and Soon Hin Hugh for their paper Enhancing Learner Interest and Motivation in an AR-Supported Experiential Learning Classroom. Congratulations to Yan Wang Peter Woods and Ah Chu Ku for their paper, The Evolution and Historical Causes of Traditional Chinese Architectural Forms in Jihua. And congratulations also to Zainuddin Siran and Ala Al-Hulaki for their paper, contemporary plastic jewelry design, the difference between current and 3D printing making process. Congratulations to ICCM winners. Next, we move on to the fourth International Conference on Communication, Language, Education, and Social Sciences. Congratulations to Sanchita Mandavan and Lee Ying Tae for Best Communication Paper with their paper Click by Regret, Unveiling the Determinants of Impulsive Online Buying Behavior. Congratulations to Ed Ismanto, Hadrami Abdul Ghani, Noridayati Abdul Aziz, Nurul Izrin Maksaleh, and Novita Effendi for Best Education Paper with a paper on enhancing student performance prediction through LSTM-based learning models with unbalanced data handling using oversampling approach. And the final Best Paper Award for Class 2023 is congratulations to Chia Chu-ze, Li She-en, Yao Jian-ai, and Chia Yi-ying for Best Social Sciences Paper with their paper Employee Resilience to Build or to Shape. Now we come to the Best Paper Awards recipients for the International Conference on Law and Digitalization 2023. Congratulations to Irene Zin Hui Ling and Eng Xiang Tae for their paper Bursa Carbon Exchange, a step forward towards a green economy in Malaysia. Congratulations. Last but definitely not least, following are the awards recipients for the third International Conference on Technology and Innovation Management 2023 with the theme Humanizing Innovation for Sustainability. Congratulations to Abdullah Salihuddin Abdullah Salim, Zarina Mayatim, Salmi Mazahid, Rabika Zainuddin, and Bhakti Hassan for their paper Impact of Pandemic COVID-19 on Microcredit Program Effectiveness for Single Mother Entrepreneurs. Congratulations to Mohandas Albert, Mageswari Dorasamy, and Kamaruzzaman Abdulaziz for their paper Will Gamers Embrace 5G? Insights from Experts. And the final winner is to the papers by Radhimala Kannan, Chinjit Chu, Kanan Ramakrishnan, and Sujata R. With a paper titled Predicting Students' Soft Skills Based on Socio-Economical Factors and Educational Data Mining. Congratulations to the Best Paper Awards winners. Also, I would like to congratulate the winners of Best Presenter Awards recipients. Over the past 3 days, we have awarded best presenters from each sessions or tracks of the 6 conferences. I would like to report that over the 6 conferences, we have awarded 16 recipients for CITIC, 13 for ICTIM, 7 for MECON, 6 for ICCM, 5 for CLAS, and 3 for SALD. You will all be able to refer to the details of the Best Presenter Award recipients on our website. Well done to all presenters. Thank you to all, once again, all award recipients for your excellent contributions. And again, congratulations and well done. Ladies and gentlemen, DIFCON is an annual event. We look forward to seeing you again next year when we shall reconvene to showcase our works and discuss another topical theme affecting our society. Till then, I bid you safe travels and wish you a fruitful year. Thank you. Back to you, Dr. Izzy.
Thank you so much, Associate Professor Dr. Kamaruzzaman bin Abdul Aziz, for being such a great sport for DIFCON 2023. Your support will always be appreciated, and I hope there will be more conferences for us to work together in many years ahead. Congratulations to all the winners. You are truly Permata Dunia. Ladies and gentlemen, there are millions of memories that were shared for the last 3 days. Although we hope that all those memories are a good one for each and every single one of us, but personally for me, DIFCON 2023 certainly is another great experience that I shall keep in my heart. All right, without wasting any more time, let us roll the VT of all the good memories. at DIFCON 2023 from the lens of our creative teams. Roll the VT, please. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please share with us your virtual clap. A big round of applause to our dedicated committee members that have been working hard in preparing the videos. Thank you for such an interesting VT. Right, before we disperse, before we all take our own way, I would like to humbly request once again for all the participants today to turn on your camera for a photography session. Let us all give our biggest smile yet so far for DIFCON 2023. Okay, so hopefully everyone can switch on your camera. We are going to take pictures and give the biggest smile that you can. Are we all ready? All right, seems like most of us have switched on the cameras. Right, so in the count of three, you can smile the biggest as you can, right? 1, 2, 3. And one more, can we show like a thumbs up, perhaps? The second one for the second pictures, all right? 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much, everyone. I think that's the mark That's marked the end of DIFCON 2023, and on behalf of the organizer committees, I would like to seek apology for any inconvenience caused throughout this event, and we are looking forward to hearing your feedback. All right. So with that, for the last time, I am Dr. Easy from DIFCON 2023 committee members signing off. Till we meet again next year. Bye everyone. Take care.